So we're going to do some interesting stuff in today's video. This is the brand new 550 XP Mark II. Hadn't even had any gas in it yet. I have not cranked it. It's bone dry. See up in there? Dry. And I wanted to check the compression on this saw with it. Brand new as compared to Screaming Demon over there. This got over 2.5 years of runtime on it now, to see what the difference is. So I've already done pulled it just to kind of see. I'm gonna let the pressure off of it. We're gonna do it two different ways. We're gonna compare the saws. I'm gonna pull it 10 times without the throttle mashed, and we'll check it. And I'm gonna pull it 10 times with the throttle mashed wide open, and we're gonna see what the difference is. This is kind of interesting here. So you can see the needles dumped all the way down. So we're just gonna pull it 10 times. Okay. So can you see it there? It's actually showing, it's right on 115 PSI is what it's at right there. You can see that on the screen. And it's dead on 115 there. All right, so now we're gonna dump it. And now we're gonna pull it 10 times with the throttle pinned wide open on it. Okay. So right there, we're dead up 115 PSI. Same thing. I think Husqvarna recommends to pull it with the throttle open on it, but it didn't change anything on it there. So a while ago when I did it, there was a little bit of a difference, but I've done pulled this thing probably, gosh, while I fired the camera up, I've done pulled this thing probably 50 or 60 times already before I got the camera going. So it may be pumping it's got enough to where it's pumping on both sides, because the first time I pulled it, I mean, I just pulled it out of the box. The box is sitting right there in the back of the Ranger. And I mean, that was the first time. Like I said, I ain't even cranked it. It hadn't had any gas in it at all yet. So it's 115 pounds on both sides. So we're gonna take, and I'm gonna pull the plug out of my Screaming Demon, and we're gonna do the same thing with it. The only difference between this saw and Screaming Demon is when I got this one, I ended up with a 16-inch bar on it, which I prefer a 20, but that's fine. I could have got a 20, but I'm actually gonna run that 16 on there like it is. I'm primarily use this lemon, topping things like that right there, and I do a lot of cutting down with Screaming Demon over there that y'all seen in videos over the years, but I'm gonna run it with this 16-inch bar. This thing ought to be back crap crazy with a 16-inch bar on it. Got the SP33G chain on it too, by the way, is what's on it. They're very, very nice looking setup. So I'm gonna put the plug back in it, and we're going to I'm gonna check the Screaming Demon over there. So this is the older Screaming Demon, the original one. I'm going to pull the plug out of it. I'll just let y'all watch the whole thing here. Let's see what it's doing. This is the one I pulled the piston out of and put it back in, and she's still a runner. There's some guys that made a pretty big deal about that, but it really wasn't a big deal, to be honest with you, because I didn't build it. It's still got the same jug, piston, everything in it that it started out with. I think what happened on it was, because it's done happened again, and the second time it did it, I didn't pull it apart. Chris, that helps me a good bit, you know, it's an art to cranking these 2-strokes, and he tried to crank it the other day when we were at the doing that big tree job, me, him, and Justin. Same thing. Same thing. And a lot of times, like, he tried to crank it while the chipper was running. Well, he didn't hear it. He didn't hear it pop. I was up in the tree and I watched what was going on, and then he kept pulling it on choke, and then it flooded out. I couldn't even get it to crank. So when I got back over that weekend there, when I got back home, this is before I messed my thumb up, I pulled the plug out of it, and I didn't pull everything off. I just pulled it down to where the cylinder with the piston was all the way down, and I lightly pushed air through it, all the way through it, to get it good and dry, because I still couldn't get it cranked like 2 days later when I did that, and I put the plug back in, and it fired and hit and went right on. So this is it hadn't been cranked or anything. This is, you can see it's on 0 right there. So we're gonna pull it 10 times without mashing the throttle. Okay. So we are setting dead nut on 100 PSI. So there's only 5 PSI difference between this saw and the brand new one sitting right there. I need to send something to Napa Mike right quick, because he's now a Husqvarna dealer, so that he can see. All right, so I just sent that to Napa Mike. I may have missaid it a while ago. This saw is 2.5 years old. I can't remember. So now we're gonna pull it with the throttle wide open on it, still sitting on 100 PSI. We're gonna dump it. And so here we go. All right. So it went up. It did just like the other one did a while ago. It's actually sitting on 115, which those 20 pulls right there are the first 20 pulls that I pulled it cold with it straight off the floor. I'm gonna dump it and I'm gonna pull it 10 more times. I'm gonna send something to Napa Mike though, so hang on. All right, so I sent that to Napa Mike. Okay, so we're at 115 right there. We're gonna dump it, and I'm gonna do it again. All right, I'm gonna hold the throttle wide open again and pull it 10 times. We're gonna check it. I'm gonna dump it, and I'm gonna pull it 10 times without the throttle wide open to see if it ends up being the same or if it stays a 5 PSI discrepancy. Okay, that was wide open. See, that was actually on, sitting right on 100 PSI right there. So if it does like the other one just did, then now that I pulled it a bunch, when I pull it with the throttle closed on it, it's still gonna stay on 100. So let's check it and see what it does. Dump it. All right, so I'm not gonna hold the throttle. You'll be able to hear the sound different. All right. So dead nut again. So it did just like the other one. So it's sitting on 100 PSI. All right. So that's pretty cool right there. All right. Let me send this back to Napa Mike here. All right, we're gonna pull. I've already loosened it up here already. I got to get it some more. These threads are 10 millimeter. Let's see here. Dump that off of it. Sit that right there. So here's what the plug looks like in it. Screw it right back in. So I think I'm gonna make this today's video. I wasn't gonna do this one on today's. I was actually gonna do something else, but I think I'm gonna let this ride here, because I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a preview of what I'm gonna do for a future video, because chainsaws right now are big, because we're coming into the fall of the year and people doing cleanup, working on their property, getting ready for firewood and all that stuff. So let's go over here. So this is just some of my saws right here. This isn't all of them. We'll give you a quick rundown. 500i, 550, 550, 261, 362, 372, 562, 400, 540 IXP, 540 IXP, 572, T540 XP, 661, and then I've got 335 XPT. I've got another 335 XPT sitting over there, and then I've got a couple more over there, 2 saws. But like I said, that's not all of them. But what I'm going to do on an upcoming video is I'm going to gas and oil them all up, and we're going to weigh them all. We're not going to be comparing like say Husqvarna to Stihl. We're going to be just weighing them with all the different bar chain combinations, because some of them's got different bars. Like say that 562's got a 24-inch X-Tough light bar on it, as opposed to the 362's got a 20-inch light bar on it. It's got a Sugi on it. And so we're just going to weigh them all. I'm going to start off with like the top handle saws, and we'll weigh the 335s full of gas and oil. That one's got a 16. This T540 gas saw's got a 14 on it. And then we'll weigh the 2 battery saws, because they got 2 different bars on them. We got a 14 and a 12. Then we'll go up to the 50s, which would be the 550. So we'll weigh it with a 20-inch bar, a 16-inch bar, and then we'll weigh the 261 with a 20-inch bar. And it's a 63 gauge on it, so it's a wider drive length on it. Then we'll step up to the 60cc saws, which would be the 562, 362. We'll weigh them. Of course, they got different bars on them. I have them full of gas, and you'll get to see the weight difference between like the 24 and then the 12, and then that kind of stuff. Then we'll do the next step up from that would be the 400, in which I don't have another one, but that's the only one of them I have. And of course, it goes up to a 25-inch bar. Then we'll do the 70cc class, which will be the 372, 572. We got a 28-inch X-Tough light bar on the 572, and then there's just a 20-inch Husqvarna. It's an Oregon Husqvarna branded bar, the Mack truck of bars. So we'll do that class of saws with 2 different 20 and 28-inch. Then the next step up from that would be the 500i, which is a 80cc saw basically. And then the next step up from that would be the 661 with the 36-inch ES light bar, which I have some data, and I have a picture that I'll include in the video for proof for the 592 with a 28-inch bar. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of y'all on the weight of what that saw weighs compared to the 661. So that's going to be interesting. I thought about doing that for a video, because that's where the rubber meets the road in the saw world, is what does the dang saws weigh? What do they weigh? Because that determines how long you can run a saw, how long you can go at it. So like I said, the 550's brand new one. They give you an extra air filter. Well, they give you 2 different air filters and when you buy a 550. So you can see, so this is the one 2.5 years old on that saw, runtime on that saw now. And then this one's brand, still hadn't even put any gas in it yet, even cranked it. 16-inch, this son gun right here. I'm anxious to see what the weight difference is going to be, because I'm anxious on this too. Some of this I do know, but like this one having a 4-inch shorter bar on it, it's going to be pretty cool to see what the difference is between the two of them there. So I'm excited to do a video like that. I think it'll be really cool. I'm going to show y'all the difference here. Y'all look at so this is the dog that was made for me right here on the 550 XP. And then here's the factory dog here. You see it comes out. And they look a lot the same right there. This one here is actually taller than this one, and that was one of the things that I was wanting to kind of get away from, because that's one of my complaints with this saw is with the factory dog on it. When you're coming up from undercutting from the bottom, it's very easy to touch this on the stick as you're coming up, because you've got the saw lean forward already, and it's till you get used to it, it's very easy to do that. And the way he made this one for me, it's not as tall, because you can see it stops right just above where the tooth is, and then he made that tooth, that third tooth, where it lines up with the saw with the chain on the bottom, whereas this one don't. I really like that on the 3-point dogs where they do that. But the 50cc saws are some of my favorite because they're light, got an outboard clutch on them, and they run like scalded apes, man. These things right here, they turn, I think they're turning about 15,500 RPMs, just an insane amount of RPMs. Oh, I see something I gotta do right there. Y'all see it too. I got to take care of that, because you can see the difference on that one compared to this one. These work great in the tree. These, if you're gonna have to do some cutting up there, do good. And also the 60cc saws do very well in there. But like I said, we're not going to be comparing them, head to head. I just want to show the weights out there, because that's what it's all about. Some of them's got full wrap handles on them, some of them got regular handles. I think that'll make a pretty cool video. So let's see here. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of saws. I like chainsaws. I'm crazy about them, enjoy them, and there's a lot of saw enthusiasts out there too, just like I am. A lot of people don't get to run them as much as I do. I run these things pretty much daily for the most part, put a lot of time on them. So I've got, it's been fun running the Steels for fixing to be a year now, because I bought the first two I bought was last year. Right as soon as the 500i came out, I was able to get my hands on one when they got them in the dealers. I bought it in a 362 at the same time. So as far as like, a lot of people know that I'm affiliated with Husqvarna, have been. They really hadn't been doing a whole lot as far as like sending me stuff. So the saws that they have given me in the past, they give me Screaming Demon. The first saw they give me was the 572 right there. That was the first one, was the 572. And then they sent me Screaming Demon. And then I got the 540, the gas 540. That's it. All the rest of the Husqvarnas, the 562, the 2 battery saws, and everything else Like I bought probably 25 saws this year, but I was buying them and reselling them and everything, mainly 550s, because they kind of got hard to get, and I had a source where I could get them from. And so I was getting them as people were contacting me about them. I was actually, you know, reselling them and everything like that. So but everything else I have bought. So they give me the, like I said, the 550, 572 and gas 540, and that's been it. And all the steels, I bought all them. So anywho, hope y'all have a great week. I'm gonna throw this video together real quick. Pretty cool on the compression stuff there on it. Interesting stuff, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity like I've got to take a brand new one that's 2.5 years old, that's had the heck run out of it, and compare it to a saw that's not. And I've got the right here, I've got the stuff right here to plug into the saw to tell the hours on it, but I got to get me a dealer login. That's it right there, where I can plug into the all the 5 Series stuff, the auto tune stuff, to check how many hours, how many times it's been cranked. Oh, here too, I got some more climbing stuff in the other day. I got another 200-foot stable braid. I got a Big Boss lanyard. I got another sling, Deadeye sling. That's a 3/4 25-foot. I've got 3 of the long slings like that now, which here recently, and all I've been doing is fooling with big stuff. And then got another, this is a large notch quarter route. Love the notch ones. You could get all the notch stuff, you could get 20% off here recently at Cheryl and Tree Stuff. So I've got 2 larges and I got 1 medium notch. I love the notch because it's stainless. It's got a good finish on it, very nice. Also have a Rote Runner Pro coming, and I've got the Notch carbon fiber gas coming too. I should have the Rote Runner here any day now. The gas are still on back order right now. So y'all have a good day. If you have any questions, ask down below. I'll try to answer if I can, or try to figure out the answer for you. But chainsaw stuff's fixing to be wide open, because a lot of people are looking for information on chainsaw. So we'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.